So now welcome to uh, our lecture, energy scenario. So last time we were discussing about the energy conservation in India, and we have discussed the salient feature of Energy Conservation Act 2001. We have also discussed the potential of energy saving in different sectors like industrial sector, transport sector, agriculture sector, and domestic sector. So today we are going to discuss what are the progress made in energy conservation in India. So the progress made by India in energy conservation can be seen in the following three areas. The first area is the policy and institutionals, end user and technology. So whatever the points we have discussed, we come to know that uh, the security of energy can be fulfilled only the best way is the energy conservation, because by doing the energy conservation we can fulfill whatever the point listed in the energy security. So the some steps has been taken out by the central government as well as the state government toward the energy conservation, and this can be classified, or we can look the energy conservation, the progress of energy conservation into three major area. One is the policy and institutional, second is the end user, and third is the technology. So we will see one by one what is that meaning of this all three points. Okay, so the very first is the one is the energy policy or policy and institutions. So energy policy of India is the short term. In the short term, what we can do for the energy conservation, one is the maximize the returns from the existing asset, which already we have considered in many of the points. It is expected that whatever the electrical infrastructures are there, we have to utilize very effectively and judiciously. Then it is possible to use the existing assets very effectively. So the first point is the maximum returns from the existing assets, whatever the installations are there, whatever the lines are there, whatever the generating facilities are there. It may be a converting facilities in case of the oil refineries are there. If you extract the benefit, maximum benefit from the existing asset, so we can say that we are going to delay in the new plant installations, because the new plant installation need a huge investment in the system. Okay, so if you want to increase the generation capacity, definitely we have to increase the number of plant. This plant may be the thermal plant or hydro plants are there. But whereas if existing infrastructure, existing power plant can be used very effectively at its maximum rating, definitely we can avoid or we can delay in the new power plant installation. Second is the reduce the losses in the transportation and at the end user. Whatever the transportation losses are there, either by the pipelines, either by the say, it is we can say that it is from the transmission and distribution network is there. If you reduce these losses, definitely we can maximize our profit, or we can increase the energy reaching at the doorstep or the at the final user. Initiate the action to reduce the energy intensity of the different consuming sector and promotions. So whatever the there, just a minute. Okay. Whatever the uh, uh, higher energy consumption devices are there, we have to look into the that areas, and we have to reduce that energy consumption. conservation through the organizational and fiscal measures. The meaning is that we have to set up some organization. If it is a big industry, they should set up a small committee to examine the energy conservation, to adopt the best practices for the energy conservation in each and every sectors. This is the day-to-day activities, or at the state level, or at the some different non-government organization should be made, such that they are going to conduct the energy conservation program in different type of consumer sectors, isn't it? So if you organize some committees are there, and to see the day-to-day activity in the energy conservation, definitely in the existing system without any investment we can do the energy conservation. Initiate the step to meet the basic energy need of the rural and the urban household so as to reduce the existing inadequacy. uh, what it means that whatever the energy needed in the rural area, it can be fulfilled in that area itself. For example, set up some biomass plant, isn't it? Biogas power plant is there, or some different type of is there, say it is an independent solar system is there, it may be a wind energy is there. So it is such a fulfill in the local area. So whatever the demand of energy occurring from the rural area, it can be fulfilled at the their premises itself. Similarly, if suppose it is a sugar industry is there, okay, in the sugar industry there is a bagas are there, some waste materials are there. If you are using the same waste material for the increasing the temperature in for the boilers, and we does not need the higher pressure and higher temperature steam in the process, first that steam can be utilized to run the small generator, or small turbines are there, which is useful for the lighting purpose in maybe outdoor type, indoor type, or it may be to run the utility. So some part of the energy can be produces in the premises itself and should be utilized in the premises. So we can say that this is the some of the energy is going to generate at the local area, and hence which will reduce the demand over the utility section. Maximize the satisfaction of demand from the energy from the indigenous resources. The same things, whatever the resources are there, some of the demand of electrical energy can be fulfilled from the itself in the primarily in the same we can say that premises itself. And financial assistance, because in case of energy conservation program there is some fresh investment is needed. For example, if you take the example of a lighting system, if somebody told you that you have to replace your old filament lamp by the LED lamp, so to replace this LED lamp we need some extra money, isn't it? Or we can say that we need some funds. As in case of the big industry or some big premises are there, it is needed some financial help. So this financial help should be provided from the some institutional. It may be a some Jila Udyog like that. It may be a some soft loans are there, or some financial assistance should be there, so that industry are ready to accept the energy conservation program in their factories, isn't it? So this is called as a financial assistance. Energy policy of India, it is a medium term. In medium term, progressive step to substitute the petroleum product by coal or natural gas and electricity. Say, it is the example of electric vehicles. Nowadays, we have already considered that we have to purchase the crude oil from the Middle East, and it is the imported material. And when the import is more, definitely it is going to occur on the economical development of the country. So if you substitute the petroleum product by some electricity, for example, it may be a small two-wheelers, it is electric vehicles, it may be a small lightweight engines are there, it may be going to run by the battery operated systems are there. So what we are going to do the substitution of the petrol. Now there is a two advantage. One is that we are reducing the requirement of petrol And the secondly, it is going to become a user friendly as well as for the society and environment. So this is the medium term or medium policy of India is there. Action for accelerate the development of all renewable energy resources, especially in hydropower plants. So it is the small hydel power plant are there. If you visit any northeast region, we will find that there is a micro hydel power plants are there, because in the dry season, in the say summer season, uh, all small rivers and say springs are full of waters, and because of this whatever the pressure available, it can be run small turbines, and this small turbine able to produce the electrical energy. So this amount, whatever the amount of electrical energy produces by this small hydel power plant, or it may be, it is called as a micro hydel power plant, is a 10 megawatt, 5 megawatt or 1 megawatt power plant is there. It is sufficient to supply the electrical energy in the nearby area. So the points which we have discussed, that initiate the step to meet the basic energy need of the rural and the urban household, as reduce the existing inequality. As second is the maximize the satisfaction of the demand for energy from the indigenous resources. So whatever the resources available in that particular area, it should fulfill our some of the demands are there. So micro hydel power plants, especially in the northeast region, is most of the northeast regions are there, and they are fulfilling the demand of the nearby area. So such type of development should be accelerated, and if you accelerate, the government will going to accelerate this type of activity. It will reduce the demand occurring on the our hydropower plants, big hydropower plant, thermal power plants, and overall power plant of the country. Promote the program to achieve the self-reliance in the energy sectors. So our next objective is that to promote the programs. Any programs are there where any campus or any big industries should be able to produce the electrical energy, and it should be self-reliance. They should not get the power from the grid. Say for example, some of the if you visit nearby in the Songar, is that they are producing the electrical energy, and they are consuming the electrical energy in their paper industries, isn't it? So they are having self power plant. Similarly, some of the power plants in the Tata Power and Tata Chemicals are there. They are going to produce the electrical energy for their plants and for the open access system. So this is the program to achieve the self reliance in energy sectors. It can be achieved in the uh, sugar industries also. Create appropriate organizational change in the consist with the overall energy strategies. आपको whenever we have to produce some organization which is going to study entire energy consumption details in the sector wise, it may be the some machine wise, or say device wise, or there, or with the time period, and it has to do some analysis. There are some fruitful suggestions should be carried out in this one. So this is the one type of policies are there which we have to implement in the state level. It may be a central level, or it may be a some itself in the company itself, in the company premises. Now energy policy of India is a long term. After some long term, what is our final goal? Promote an energy supply system largely based on the renewable source of energy. So we want to shift our energy generation from the coal, or from the gas, or it may be, it has to be shifted, or the most of the energy should be created from the renewable source. It may be a wind power, it may be a solar powers are there. So you will find that across the country, and government has put up some target for installation of the solar power plant. It may be, it is including the domestic solar power plant. It include the commercial level at the rooftop power system and on the ground power system in term of megawatt. And it is found that whatever the target the government put in front of the people for the installation of the solar power plant, it has fulfilled, or it has been implemented during the due times. So because there is a large amount of energy saving, large amount of financial advantages are there if somebody is going to install the solar power plant. So this is nothing but the promotion of an energy supply system largely based on the renewable source of energy. Promote technologies of production, transportation and use of energy that are environmental being and cost effective. So whatever our new transportation methods, new power energy production methods should be environmental friendly, and it is found that with the help of some wind power plant, it may be some hybrid system, it may be a solar system. So nowadays across the country solar system become widely accepted everywhere in each and every sector of the consumer, right from the residential, commercial, agriculture sector. We find that in the agriculture sector there is a independent pumps are there, solar pumps are there. It has a numerous advantage. The advantage is that it is free from the load shedding period, uh, and the water is available in the daytime. People can work in their farm, in their field in the daytime. Earlier the rural area getting power in the night time from 6 or 10 p.m. to morning 6 a.m., and they have to work in the night time in their field work. So now it has advantage. Solar power system, solar pumping system has advantage is that in the daytime they can work in their field. Second is that there is no effect of say power failures during the peak times, isn't it? When the crops are ready, they want the water and it is now available. Earlier times, during the main some critical period of the crops, the power may not be available and it is going to hamper the total crops of the farmers. So the promotion of this type of technology is going to adopt in the long term basis, that the most of the power generation is based on the renewable energy. Now end user, who are the end user? End user are the, we are the end user which is going to use the electrical energy. So industry is the major energy consumer utility, about 50% of total commercial energy in India. Whatever the energy generations are there, 50% of energy is going to utilize in the industry, and whereas 50% they are consuming the commercial level, domestic level, as well as the agriculture sector levels. So the more we have to emphasize over the industrial sector to do the energy conservation program. If they do the energy conservation program, definitely we can fulfill the say our goal for the energy conservation. The first thing is that the maximum energy consumptions in the industrial sector. Second is that the people, those are working in the industry, they are educated, most of them they are engineers, and they can understand very easily what is the importance of energy conservation in view of the development. So and they have the knowledge, technical knowledge, and as well as the economical knowledge are there. Therefore the energy conservation program can be implemented very effectively in the industrial sector as compared to the other sector. No doubt nowadays everybody is very much conscious about their electricity bill, and they are trying to reduce the electricity bill with the help of some replacement of the existing machineries by the new energy efficient machineries are there. Best practices in the energy conservation, best practices in the houses, commercial buildings, as well as in the small scale industry. So because of this total awareness program, which is the primary level which we have done, which everywhere people are aware to do the energy conservation. The six key of industries, namely aluminum industry, cement industry, fertilizer, pulp and paper industry, and petrochemical industries, as well as the steel industries, has the energy intensive industries are there, which we have already considered. We have considered that in the industry, which type of industry has the more energy conservation opportunities or scopes are there. It is a fertilizer, it is a cement, it may be a steel, alloy and steel companies are there. So this type of industry consumes heavy electrical energy. If you visit any say chemical as well as say steel and aluminum industry, there is a number of furnaces are there, welding machines are there. So because of these furnaces, heating and cooling systems are there, the energy requirement by this such type of industry is very high. So our intention is to do the energy conservation program in such type of industries. Now, energy efficiency in government buildings, no doubt, if the landmark become our government buildings, definitely the people is going to move toward the energy conservation program. Technology. National institutions promote the energy conservation program. And what are that energy national institutes are there? It is the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Now, Petroleum Conservation Research Associations are there. Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, it's a IREDA, is there, and Energy Research Institute and Confederation of Indian Industry. So we will discuss here is the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. This is the bureau is going to set up by the after Energy Conservation Act parliamentary, that is a act is passed in the 2003 and 2001, and after that a bureau has been set up. And what is the objective of this bureau? The objective of bureau is to make some rules and regulation, some baseline for the energy conservation program. They are going to award some labeling to the different electrical as well as other machineries are there, either they are efficient, and by doing some certification course are there in the energy audit and energy conservation program. It is a chartered engineer, it may be a certified auditors are there, and such type of exam has been conducted by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, because the government has identified some of the consumer, that is called as a designated consumers are there, or identified consumers are there. They have to appoint certified engineer, certified auditors are there. They have to submit the energy audit report similar to the uh, which we have a finance audit reports are there. It is the energy audit reports compulsory, the mandatories are there, in the some of the consumers are there, in the sort of the some consumers are there. So in this case, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency play an important role in the energy efficiency, and it is going to make nowadays with the help of market transformation. What is the market transformation? It means that they prohibited the sale and manufacture of inefficient machineries. For example, if you are going to purchase the pump, the pump may be available in the 3-star rating, it may be a 5-star rating, or it may be a 2-star ratings. But we does not find any type of pump which does not have any type of say star rating labeling. So such type of market transformation means we have banned the non efficient pumps in the market. So if it is not available, it is not going to manufacture. So every machine has some star rating, is having some efficiency norms has to be comply, and that energy efficiency norms which is laid by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Now similarly, the Confederation of Indian Industry is the agency. It is going to conduct some energy audit programs in the different industries, and it is a very uh, say such type of such CII is well known for the energy conservation program. Now, what is the benefit of energy conservation? The benefit of energy conservation is for the customer benefit, utility benefit, and society benefit. Now we will see one by one. For the customer side, it is satisfied the electricity demands. No doubt, the satisfy electricity demand, it means that the power is available, or energy is available 24 hours, 7 days are there. Earlier we found that because of the load shedding. What is the load shedding? Load shedding, it means that whatever our generation is not fulfilling the demand of the consumer. The consumer demands 24 hours supply, but our consumption is higher than the generation capacity. There is a gap between generation and demand. And if you do the energy conservation, the same amount of existing infrastructure whatever the infrastructure, whatever the capacity of the power plant is there, by doing the proper energy conservation, it is found that existing infrastructure is sufficient to supply the demand of the consumer. So the energy conservation reduces the gap between generation and demand. So the first benefit for the customer is that it satisfies the electricity demand. Second is the reduce or stabilize the cost or electricity bill. We found that if more energy is going to produce or more energy is going to utilize by the consumer, whatever the generation cost is spread over the number of units generated by the generating station. So if you utilize the existing power plant very effectively, it means that the cost per unit is going to reduce, and the same reduction of the generation is going to pass to the consumer. So they find the reduction in the electricity bill and stabilize cost. The cost may be stabilized for a longer period. After 1 year, the tariff has been going to revise. Otherwise, every month there is a fluctuation in the rate of electricity, or every 3 months there is a fluctuation in the rate of electricity. So the second advantage as a customer, they will find stable cost of the electrical energy, maintain and improve the lifestyle and the productivity. Definitely, if a consumer receive or get power 24 hour, its lifestyle will be more, is ready to pay the money because he is getting the comfort level, and it will increase the productivity because of the 24-hour supply is available, the production is going to increase. So this is the benefit of from the consumer side. From the utility, what is the utility? Utility is nothing but the generating facilities, transmission and distribution facility or franchises are there. So it is a low cost service. Definitely, when the they are fulfill the demand of the consumer, and they are paying proper money to the utility one, so they can do the proper service or proper maintenance of the existing infrastructure, improve the operating efficiency and flexibility. So if the customer is satisfied, it will generate more and more say uh, finance for improving the operating efficiency, improve the customer service, and it will improve the customer service. So this is the benefit for the utility. And for the society, reduce environmental degradation, as we are delaying in the installation of new power plant, because by doing the energy conservation program, the gap between generation and demand has been reduced. There is no need to install the new power plants. There is no need to increase the pollution in the system. There is no need to acquire the land of the farmers or agriculture sectors are there. So it is a it is a environmental friendly is there. So it will reduce the degradation of the environment. Second is the conservation resources. If conserve the resources, whatever the resources are there, it is going to conserve. We are not adding the power plant, so there is a conservation of coal, there is a conservation of water is there, and again there is a conservation of oil and natural gases are there. So it conserves the resources, whatever the resources available in the country, it can be conserved. Second is the protect the global environment. So socially in the across the world, it is protect the global environment. The carbon dioxide emission will be smaller. So this is the some uh, we can say that this is the uh, uh, step taken by government of India toward the energy conservation. Thank you.